are here today. Oh, look at this. Sorry, sometimes I get on here, and even though I look a little two-faced, by the way, look at this. Look at this two-face. Look, angle there. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I am a Gemini Cancer, so technically that's the twins and then another sign. So that would be like a threesome of some kind of sorts. I don't know. Can I say threesome on here? There's a lot of things that people think you can't say on here, which is very interesting. Now, I believe there is some things you can't say, but I mean, should we get into that detail? Should we get into that topic? But regardless, I am sitting here with this sleeve on with the zipper and the Just Bend It shirt. Actually, this is a pretty badass shirt. This is a giant sprint car that says Just Bend It across the top. Actually, I should show y'all that. This shirt's actually, it didn't take off as much as I thought it would. I think it's a badass design personally. But it is pretty cool. I was just looking at the shirt here in the actual video, and under this, it kind of looks cool with the red. I think that looks pretty tight, pretty nice. But is tight a word? Is tight a word? Back to tight. That's pretty tight. Is that a word anymore, or is this fleek, or do I have a nice drip? You know, society's very interesting in today's world. There's actually a situation where society is influencing the youth to make a lot of bad decisions in today's world. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. The youth of today's world do not want to listen to wisdom, but they sure as hell want to listen to that comedy person or that, not even comedy person. Well, actually, Cat Williams has been saying some very truthful things recently. But on another subject, the youth, the kids of America, they don't want to listen to parents or wisdom or smart teachings or religion, which I think religion has kind of been instilled throughout world history, kind of to help kids as well as adults, kind of have some kind of breeding ground. I think that's why religion, no matter which one it is, Scientology, Dianetics, or whatever, that it is good to kind of keep you on some kind of straight and narrow path, or the world will punish you. You know, karma is real. You could call it karma. I call it God. Karma and God, kind of, once again, that's a youth word to try to confuse people on, you know, what actually is in control. Some people would worship karma more so than a God. That's pretty sad to me. Pretty sad. But in our reality, we are bred as humans. It's almost like a weird instinctual situation where we are bred and have it in our genetics to worship something in life. And I think very evil people not only just worship, but worship, listen to, be influenced by. That's why I take some of the things that I do here very seriously, because I know, you know, unfortunately throughout my travels, I've been, you know, on the front straightaway at Knoxville with David Gravel and Jeff Gordon behind me in Victory Lane, predicted the whole entire week 5 months in advance based on corporatism and the Illuminati. And I've been sitting there running my mouth saying this, that, and the other, and then had families come up with kids. And the dad, we watch you all the time. I was like, wait, little 6, 7-year-old kid right there listens to me and watches me all the time. Oh, yeah, he loves it. I'm like, I get pretty wound up on my shows. He goes, oh, yeah, and the little kids will say, oh, my dad says just as bad all the time. So, and this is reality, although we talk about words and kids and all this. These are all just scapegoats. Reality is what the little kid just said. But at the same time, I have to understand that when I'm here on this camera and I'm saying and I'm talking things, I am a part of that influence that has superseded religions and things like that. This entertainment situation, these damn music artists who are, you know, take your bitch, fly her to New York, sign a name all on her tits, and then she's the influence for young women in society, and that's what makes these people go out here and do crazy shit. You know, no matter how good of or bad of a parent you are, things like this can occur because of these influences in the world. So I take what I do here very seriously. I do reflect on God a lot and talk about God and talk about religions and gods and all that are very different. See, I'm just damn real. See, y'all want to get on here and listen to race car stuff. David Gravel had a great talk with Tyler Courtney. Go watch it. I get on here and talk about real stuff that actually matters. But we have a natural tendency to worship, listen, and almost abide by how we see an example. Historically, the examples in a book, historically, is the stories within that book, Jesus's, Muhammad's, whatever you want to call it. And then we try to emulate those things that those teachings and stories were about. But now with these TV screens and these movies, who are, and music and this in your face, evolved versions of telling you what is and what isn't. This stuff has replaced, God and influence and not all these, the worship tendencies. That's why I joke with some people and say, if you have, Kyle Larson merchandise in your house more than Jesus crosses, guess who's actually playing the part? Who is God in your life? Who are you worshiping? Now, I love racing. I love the things that we do in racing. I think that living on the edge of death and having something that, you enjoy is definitely very important in life, but there has to be some kind of structure on what's important because of the things that you will be listening to and the things that you will be influenced by. So I take these things very, very seriously when I talk about influences or when I have those situations. And once again, I've had to, learn and progress, like my show about the promoting thing yesterday. If you haven't watched it, very great show. Some people's feelings are hurt because they're the guys I was talking to. They're the guys who now have to do what I just explained and think, oh, damn, that kid is watching. I need to think a little more about what I'm saying. Now, back to the God thing, all the cuss words you have heard me document and say over the years, you can go watch all of them. I ain't saying GD, buddy. In fact, I had a guy actually works for Jason Sides, travels around the country with Jason, really good guy. Damn name slipped my mind. I'm not as bad as David Gravel with names, but I'm just playing, but he knows what I'm talking about when I say that. But the guy walked up to me at Oskaloosa, I think it was 2019, actually, this same year leading up to the gravel deal, or it might have been 2020, one of the two. And he says, here, man, take this. He gave me $100 bill. I'm like, what the hell for? What? He's like, watch all your shows. Some of the stuff I agree with, some of the stuff I don't. But I ain't ever heard you say the GD word one time, and I really appreciate that. And it's true. And the reason I do that is because I believe that karma is not in control, but God is in control. And things that happen and things that come about are done by a watcher, potentially, who enjoys watching the movie of life. And we are all playing our parts. And then there's the opposition who is out here trying to deceive you and manipulate you into making bad decisions to ruin your life. Because whatever kind of God or religion you believe in, I can't believe I'm down this road already, but once again, we just go down it. Whatever kind of God and religion you believe in, you are of that creation. And the way to make that creator feel bad is for something to come along, take that creation and ruin it. Destroy it. And once again, back to these screens and televisions and this thing that came around and popped up in everyone's living room, about 50 years ago? And just started telling everybody what is and what isn't and what you should be and what you should buy and what you should like and what you should think about and how you should view people. So it's just like, that never existed in human history. That's a very powerful thing. Never in human history have you ever had a box be placed in the room in front of the faces of every single human being in modern society and tell them what is and what is not. And then give them characters to worship and abide by as well. That goes for political figures. You can look at some of these political figures in the world and see how you're worshiping or looking and looking to them for the saving grace. And if you just understand how those worship tendencies that you have developed are genetically created through the worshiping of a god or a religion throughout human history, then you can understand how the shades can come off of your eyes, and that box over there is doing a real good job of putting shades over them. Once again, love thy neighbor as you love thyself. I think that people next to you and in this regular world, not in that box, are real people. That's why when I got on here the other day and said, Ninja, please, because I've been out in the real world. I ain't listened to a box to tell me what it is and what ain't. I've been out there. I ain't dumb. And I'm not listening to a television screen to tell me how to be smart. You got to go out there, think for yourself, live for yourself, understand for yourself. Anecdotal evidence will always trump, underline that word, the TV screen. Don't matter how much of a freaking show host you are. But anyway, Anyway, I'm not going down that road. The dark arts is real. You go listen to Cat Williams some more. The dark arts is real. Go listen to Theo Von, all these people in Hollywood and all these different situations of the world. It's a real situation. It's a very big threat to, once again, there was some other stuff that happened prior to this that, I've always been somewhat of an advocate or somewhat activist in the world for multiple things and moralistic stand grounds. And that's why. Because, 6 years ago, I picked up a phone and said what I thought on a camera, and 90,000 views in 24 hours later. I'm like, okay, people like hearing what I have to say. And I'll be damned if I sit back here and just go with the flow or the wolf. Because flow backwards, FLOW, is WOLF. Or live. I'm not going to get here on the live and go with the flow. Or evil. LIVE, EVIL. So there's a lot of reasons. It's all structured based. That's why some people would say it's a matrix, because there's a lot of structural based sinometries that will add up to what I'm talking about. But light versus dark, yin versus yang, all this bull crap that they talk about throughout history as well. And we should move on. Get right back into the game. Don't worry about the seriousness. But I do feel like, even though I do talk about racing, and this is obviously a racing-centric situation, I think there's a lot of things that the world could learn from the racing world, and I also think that there's a lot of things that the racing world could learn from the world. I'm still not going to sit here and, like I just said, just go with the flow and be another talking head on a damn screen. I'm sorry, a 6-7-year-old little Jimmy over there is going to see the Chaz. The Chaz is going to be the one guy who at least gives some kind of rationality to the realities of our surroundings. I'm not that inside the box. I think outside of it. Regardless. I know that was an interesting rant. Some people getting here a little bit late, maybe like, what the hell is he talking about? But it was very good. Rewind it, rewatch it if you haven't. Very interesting subjects that we could be having. But I was talking about the shirt, just bend it. And that's kind of what I just did. Just bend it, And in a weird way, this online thing that I do is almost like my race car. I got my little supporters and sponsors that help me get to the next race, and I get on here and I race and I drive. And what I say may be risky, maybe not risky. I could sit here and just tote the bottom, but I'm the just bend it, run it up on the wall risk guy. That's why people watch me. I'm not afraid of you. Now, when I say you, that's a lot of people. But that's why they watch, because I just bend it with what I do. And there's some badass race car drivers that just bend it with what they do as well that, are worth noting and covering and talking about. But anyways, the Just Bend It shirt, I guess we will look at it on the website. If you haven't seen it before, it's very beautiful. Just Bend It. It's a very large sprint car design with the Long Live the Chaz sticker on the wing cap of the car. Big old black and red, giant, just giant doucher shirt, basically. You wear this around, you're the big doucher. But I think it looks cool with this big-ass sprint car just slinging it sideways, wheels in the air. Just Bend It shirt. But anyways, there are a lot of things to talk about. We did just open the truth, what's going on. We got Toxic Ass Blast. Toxic Ass Blast. Somebody said, I'm glad you talk about God, Chaz. Well, I mean, I have never shied away from it. And once again, I have said a lot of cursey words on this show, but I have never said GD. There is a reason for that. I almost am thinking about Mother Effer as being pretty bad because God, the creator, Mother, the earth. Maybe that's why some of these words are so offensive in a way. But then it's curse words. So what does the word curse mean? Interesting things to think about in your daily life. Anyways, back to words. This had to be the funniest thing I had seen all day outside of Cat Williams just absolutely blasting the entire world with truth. Noah Knigga, or Noah Ninja for the smart people. And the caption is, well, Noah, I know some people too, because Noah Knigga, I'm just saying, Noah Knigga, that's what it sounds like to me. with an A at the end of it. And that's why people are laughing down here, for the record. With an A at the end of it. Back to cultural appropriation. This is what I was trying to describe to those heinous actual racists the other day who were trying to accuse me of being one. This is cultural appropriation. Now, see, if that had an ER at the end of it, no one would be laughing. No one would be making jokes. No one would be funny. This would not be a laughing matter. And once again, back to the racing world, learning from the world. Let's check the chat. Have we brought in enough people at this point? Oh, wow. Look at the chat here. Me and my son got to meet you in Victory Lane. Sent you a pic on Messenger. Yes, I do remember this. Freaking Williams Grove front straightaway. I was a little bigger back then. Look at that jaw over there. Jeez. If I ever got punched, I think I got a good amount of protection on each side. Jeez, that's big. But there's the sun. There's the Robbie Kendall shirt there. And I'll tell you what, Australian fans, you might become PA fans here very quickly. I'm going to be quiet on what I know. But this right here, this ninja right here, how about that? He has just been announced. Tony Laporta has been announced as the co-announcer for Flow Racing's high limit, pit reporting this year for Flow Racing's high limit racing series. And that's possibly one of the best news stories of the year right there to me. This guy's very deserving. He announced for the USAC division of the world, and I thought was really good. Got hated on a lot. He's not necessarily a full-blown, he's not from a racing background technically. I mean, he got introduced to it, as he did, then got into announcing, but has a good voice, has a very good attitude, one of the brightest guys in the pitting area you can find. And Tony Laporta becoming the full-time high-limit racing pit reporter this year is definitely well-deserved. And I even put it there, deserved. This guy definitely deserves more opportunities, more chances in this sport. I don't think he did a damn thing ever wrong. Maybe he wasn't, fitting in with the clicks, potentially. Like, that does matter a lot if you fit in with clicks or not. You can be pushed out or pushed in. Trust me, I've been fighting clicks for 4 or 5, 6 years, ever since I started going. The click game is real. It is very, very real here. And maybe that's why, we've kind of not seen Tony Laporta around, but hopefully he can click up with the High Limit Racing Series as he is now officially the pit reporter. And I think this is just great news. Like I said, this is one of the most deserving guys in the sport. Put a lot of hard work into USAC as the announcer. I don't know why that got digressed. Should have been promoted. But regardless, just wanted to give a little bit of a note. This thing was shown to me yesterday. And when us Americans see something like this, what comes to mind? Well, me personally, a four-banger came to mind. A freaking mini stock, four-banger, front-wheel drive. And when I talk about four-banger, this is one of the biggest four-banger shows in the world that I can think of. Little front-wheel drive looking cars. This is Screven Motor Speedway's 18,000 to win compact feature. They also call them compacts. And this is, they're just flipping and kind of not necessarily a joker class, but I mean, they go around the track, right at, 45, 50 miles an hour. They're just slow and going around the track. And when I see this, and the things are falling off the car, it's just, when I see this car, I'm thinking, oh, well, this is y'all's junker division. This is y'all's little slow, poor boy class that, you can't afford a $150,000 sprint car. I completely understand, this is for the slow guys. And then maybe, it is a little longer than the front wheel drive car. Apparently it is a rear wheel drive car. Maybe I should shut up. God's like, shut up. Rear wheel drive car. And then I think about the stock cars maybe that we got over here. Very big division, going to be racing for $100,000 this year from Batesville. But I've always kind of complained about these cars and even the IMCA modifieds being a little bit too slow for streaming to be the selling ticket, because sometimes some of these cars just look too slow, especially when we're used to super late models and sprint cars. And back to just kind of slow around the track kind of car. They're not super slow. They put on some of the best racing that you can see, but the speeds aren't up. I mean, look at it, 45, 50, 60, 65 miles an hour. And this is Batesville, pretty big, wide track. And I'm thinking, this thing right here, somebody sent me a link to watch the car, and I'm like, this thing is going to be just like a four-banger, going there around the track, stuff falling off the car, And then I turn over to the video, and they got these things four wide, right? And I'm thinking, what the hell? This is what they're called. They're called modified sedans on Clay Per View. Clay Per View's got everything you need to know about Australian racing. And they got them four wide, and I'm talking to this guy, I'm like, what is this? And he said, oh, this is the Australian title, mate. Australian title? For a bomber? What are you talking about? And he said, oh, this year it's going to be in Tasmania. And I'm like, Tasmania, by the way, for the record, Tasmania is this little subterranean island. I know we talked about Port Arthur, about the history of Australia and how it was a prison colony originally. Port Arthur is actually on Tasmania. This whole island is about a 3-hour drive from end to end. And they're going to have the Australian title race for these modified sedans. And I'm sitting here thinking, when I push play, these things are just going to be, four-banger, IMCA stock car slow, especially on camera. In person, the IMCA stock cars and IMCA modifieds, they're flying, but on camera, they just look like they're creeping along the track, like we just showed you. And then I push play on these cars. Look at these things. Look at this. And then when they hit the throttle and I saw their fishtail the hell out, and then go in the corner and start slinging and a-getting, I was kind of taken back. Watch how much torpedo these things got down the straightaway. They don't have much suspension. But these things are literally going in there and tossing them some bitches in there and are actually decently flying. Once again, on camera, I would say on camera, this is about as fast, a little bit faster for sure than the stock car, almost as fast as the IMCA modifieds. So luckily for me, I know this. I know what speed looks like on camera. And this is a way smaller track than Batesville. These things are yawed out, buddy. Look at them backing it in like a USAC sprint car. And apparently, this Australian title is happening in Tasmania for these modified sedans. And look at them. Look at those lights. It almost looks like a new Lancer or the Falcons. It looks like the dirt version of the V8 Supercars that they got. And they are backing these things into the corner, bro. Right in the cushion. Look, they got the power to dip on the top and get runs. This ain't no damn... I was expecting four-banger. This is not no damn a four-banger. These are called, and literally in the schedule that he showed me, it's modified. These are modified sedans. On the schedule, it says modified Australian title. I was like, what's this modified Australian title? Like IMCA, big block? And he said, no, modified sedans. I'm like, what the hell? This is what they are. And they may not have that speed. I mean, honestly, they're torpedoing around the track when I first saw them. But they are yawed out. You got to drive these race cars. It looks like a USAC sprint car the way they're dipping these things in the corner. Look at them. You can almost see the right rear of the car when he's tossing it in the corner. I guarantee you that there's a photographer with a picture of these cars going around the track that looks like those old USAC pictures where you see the right rear tire in front of the right front. These things are getting it. And honestly, I would label it as like the V8 supercar of the dirt. At least that's what they look like. The V8 supercars of the dirt over there. And this Australian title is happening in Tasmania, all the way down here. And I'll tell you what, this trip that we have devised. We threw the bacon account out the window to go to the Classic. And then obviously so many things has happened just from talking about different races, especially over there in Perth, the amazing sprint car race, the Callum Williamson interview. And once again, things y'all might want to become PA fans real quick. I'm hinting, but I'm not telling. There's a lot of people that want me to make the push to Perth. Like I said yesterday, a lot of people want me to get over there. We're going to Perth. We're going to Perth. I think as of right now, 95% sure. There's one thing that I'm waiting on to be verified before we do Perth. And then also yesterday, people were saying we need to see you in Brisbane. The one-way flights from Perth to Brisbane is not very expensive. And then this guy talking to me about this Australian title in Tasmania, saying if I can get my way down there, hang out, go to the 3 tracks. Apparently they got 3 tracks on this island over here. But the thing is, he said, Chaz, when you get here, you're almost like the race teams. You got to get a boat to go back. And it lands in Melbourne, where the return flight is potentially located. So, ladies and gentlemen, basically what I'm saying here is that we threw the bank account out the window for potentially 10 days. And it is looking, based on the influence of people wanting to see this guy talking crap on YouTube and to check all this cool stuff out. We may even be checking out some Australian football. I may actually be getting tackled on a GoPro at a practice for Australian football. Don't know about this Australian football anyway. Do they have hooks and curls and Z routes and all this? Do they just literally circle jerkle each other with the ball? I don't understand it. But all the stuff that's going over there, we're looking at a decent little trip here. We're looking at a decent little trip, I'm thinking. Once again, that about 95% sure we're going to be able to hit all these events. Now, there is, once again, the funding is everything. Links in the description to join the support. But I'm thinking I can tote it. We got enough people over there interested in hanging out and being accommodations, they call it over there. Over here, we just say, got a place I could sleep. Over there, it's accommodations. Sounds way nicer. And honestly, everything I've experienced over here is way nicer so far. Over here, as far as like with the people over there. So I'm thinking we're gonna get all we can get out of Australia when we go over there. I mean, we already dropped the money to fly over there, and once we leave, it's not like we can go back the next week. It's not like how I was in here in the Americas where I would go to California 1 week and then go to the PA, and then next week I can just drive back. That's not the case. So we're looking at a extended stay potentially in this part of the world. Still some odds and ends to figure out. We will know more by the end of the day today, I believe. But be prepared. Be prepared. You can get your picture with the Chaz in Victory Lane, just like the guy from PA did with the Robbie Kendall shirt. It is looking like we are going to extend the stay and get all of Australia that we can, show off some great areas, great regions, apparently so far great people, and then show off these damn modified sedans that are shitting and a-getting around the speedways of the island of Tasmania for their Australian title race. I was told they are expecting around 190 cars. And once again, to race over there, to race in this little island of Tasmania, to race or to go to the mainland to race, you have to put your whole entire racing operation on a ferry and ride it 14 hours through 20 to 30 foot swells of water in the Bass Strait. So, once again, the effort, and like I said, I know some people have warned me about the politics of Australia, but the effort, the respect that this racing culture has in Australia is just so much worth it. If I end up going over there and staying until April and missing all the Texas outlaw stuff, all this, I mean, I can watch it. I can watch it on Flow, but if I'm not there to go to it, a little more respectful over here. I'd rather give a little bit of time to these people. Some of the stuff that I hear these drivers going through to even get on the track, the appreciation of the sport, man, it reminds me of how dirt racing used to be. I think a lot of people would say that and agree as well. Sometimes being far ahead isn't necessarily appreciative. But anyways, that's the scene. That's the scenario. That's the new cars. That's the Clay per view tonight and tomorrow night. We will be watching it. And that's what's going on. I'm thinking this stay is extended. 95% sure. Tomorrow night, before when we pre-race the 30,000 to win race at Toowoomba, which has a race the 24th after the Crick or Crike or Cricky, or I call it Crikey race. I want to go to Perth for the Crikey or Crick race. It's like 30,000 to win at Perth. That's going to be February, I believe, 15th, 16th, 17th. And then there's a 24th race with sprint cars at Toowoomba outside of Brisbane, a couple hours. And then there's like a big block modified race the next weekend. And then there's 3 race weekends down in Tasmania with sprint cars that ends with that modified Australian title sedan race. This sounds like fun. This sounds like things I haven't seen before. And I think a lot of people should be trying to experience that as well. Once again, life is finite. And if this does turn from me throwing the banking account out the window 4 weeks ago to maybe go for 10 days into potentially helping some racers over there get, some attention, and then also turns into an extended stay and venturing to all these different places and seeing things and documenting and showing everyone on YouTube what they're all about and the things they got going on, that's an act of God. That's how I see it, at least. For it to go from that yin to that yang, I didn't do it. Whoever runs everything going on did. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's check out the chat and see what's going on. I'm sure there's some comments, some haters, blah, blah, blah. Can't wait to see your content once you're down here, buddy. I really can't either. Ford Falcon straight 6. Holdens are V6. Nice. So a V6 versus the straight 6. I agree with you. Them Aussies love that dirt racing. It reminds me of growing up at the track with my dad in the tow truck and seeing the pits full and the stands packed like you do over there. Right. It's sad. The co-trickle syndrome, the wannabe, the idolization. I call it idolization. Did it. Trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to be something that you ain't. So sad. Peter Lindsay. Might as well do New Zealand while you're down under. Oh, my God. Lots of racing, too. Oh, my God. I'm not against extending, but I do have to fly out of Melbourne, apparently. I was going to make some alterations yesterday on my fly out, change the date and location. Apparently, I got charged and canceled that flight. So I was told I have to fly out of Melbourne to return to the United States. But I don't know. Oh, God. Now you're opening up another door of New Zealand. Might as well go to fucking Antarctica then, huh? Jeez. I'm not against that either. I mean, where does God want to take me? We'll find out. That's how I look at it. Ask Donnie Schatz why he isn't coming to AUS anymore because Archerfield closed or he doesn't want to race at Toowoomba. Look at how many years Donnie came down under. Just saying. I actually talked to Donnie. Actually, he's been advising me on this trip. He's been talking to me about what to expect, where to go, what to watch out for, how good some people are. I think he said he has a few Australian dollars laying around. I think he might be getting them to me. We'll see before I leave. I do leave the 10th. Got to actually drive through a snowstorm to get to the plane. But Donnie said he was thinking of coming over this year, but just got too busy. Obviously, he is a business owner, runs a lot of stuff. But if I was to relay any message, I guess I would say Donnie was going to go, but just got too busy. And that's how it goes sometimes. He's up there in Fargo, North Dakota. What is it, like 12 degrees up there and dealing with all the stuff he has to deal with. He's got the nieces getting into the racing, probably helping them out. And then Florida's right here around the corner. He's got a race in Florida. I can understand why Donnie Schatz did not go to Down Under. But he wanted to, just got busy. So that if that's any kind of message to help y'all out, go Jesse Attard. I want to check this Jesse Attard out. I want to kind of check out everyone there. Not just for racing scouting purposes, which it seems like that's what I halfway have become for some car owners in the country. But just to get to know the structures and the talent, and it seems like it's almost over there. It's almost like a glorified California. You know, it is a segregated little region of racing, but the competition level seems to be pretty high. Haven't you heard that Kyle and Brad are bringing the All-Stars back in 2025? They are focusing on getting the high limit weekly and national going first. I have not heard that. Haven't seen that anywhere at all. I'm not going to say you are lying, but I feel like you are misinformed. Sorry. The hotbed of modified sedan racing is in Queensland. Well, but the I'll be going to that area a little bit, but the Australian title race is in Tasmania. Donnie's from my neck of the woods, and it's just storming up here, and I'm sure he wanted to help with the truck stop / niece's cars. That's what I assume as well. Jeez, this New Zealand. You're trying to tempt me to go to New Zealand. Should we do live call-ins? Anybody want to call today? We're actually kind of low on the live viewers. It is a Friday night. There is racing to have happen. I actually have to watch some racing. Hopefully everybody got to learn some stuff. I know I opened it up with a little bit of a different, let's see here. We got some more comments. Hold on. Oh, we're talking about the sunburn and the click. The click gang track looks beautiful. I'm assuming you're talking about Toowoomba. Almost a port surface. Okay. Yo, Chaz, can Clark come out and play? I don't know what Clark's doing. Probably busy like Donnie. Hey, Chaz, egg-shaped track, but good banking. It's hard to tell from video what kind of banking a track has unless it's extremely banked. But it does look like a good racetrack. I know my first comments there was like, I don't know what's up with the track. They kind of went to the bottom, but it looked like they were moving around pretty well. And Toowoomba, if I go to Brisbane, that would be a race I want to actually attend, is a race at Toowoomba. Let's see here. Where's the link to contribute to your Down Under trip? It's in the description. There's a PayPal and a Venmo link if you need to support in another way, like Zelle. Zelle's really nice, but I believe I would have to supply you with a little more personal information to do it with Zelle. Send me an email. longlivethechaz@gmail.com, I believe is the email, potentially. I have a couple emails. I do have a main email that I try to keep off of everything, but I do check that email from time to time. So if you would like to use Zelle, that is an alternative way. Or you can go to the website, purchase a t-shirt or the music that we got on there. Go listen to the music. You don't necessarily have to directly contribute financially to contribute. I like people to get what they want. If they are going to put in anything into this thing. And it seems like people just want me to be on camera talking about what I think and say and feel. And I guess that is a big contributing factor to getting the direct support. So if you do want to direct support, there are links in the description. Both PayPal and Venmo are accepted. We can figure out a way to, get the funds in another way if you would prefer some other way. I personally like Venmo better than PayPal, even though I've done more business deals with PayPal. Since Donnie's dad passing, I think he has a lot more responsibility running the family business now. Strasser's jumped in. Hey, let's get together on the Penns Creek return to win for Strasser video. I am not against this. Actually, I want to say, Strasser, I think this is possible. And there's some things happening potentially in PA that is going to need my attendance. I'm going to have to deal with Danny Dietrich on a weekly basis, which is fine. I respect Danny Dietrich. I know some people were upset with my Torgensen comments of him winning the race. And I said, well, I don't mind, the story's great and all that, but I just don't like Torgensons. I don't like the people involved. I don't like them personally. I don't like how they did me. I don't like how they did Dominic Scelzi. I don't like how they acted. I don't like them. They're not, to me, they're not good people. That's my opinion. So I don't like them. Now, I don't like Danny Dietrich because he's a douche, but I still respect Danny Dietrich. I respect what he's done on the racetrack. I respect that he's more like a late model driver as far as his culture is considered. He works on the cars, knowledgeable of the car, puts in the effort, puts in the work. So I respect the Danny Dietrich, even though I don't like him. And I really don't dislike him too much, but he does dislike me a lot, apparently. I'm a dipshit, but just because I do the same thing as him. But hypocrisy does run the world. But I also think that he's a closet larcenite. You know, he says I'm digging for things that aren't there. And sometimes if you're a fan of Larson and I point out the Watchgate situation, I'm digging for something that ain't there. No, dude actually wore a watch and it's illegal in the rule book. But since you're a fan of somebody, I'm the dipshit for bringing it up. I'm digging. Just digging for equality, fairness, righteousness, merit, all these things that equate to, freedom of people. Some would say America, but hypocrisy runs deep. So that might be happening, that Penns Creek return. The Penns Creek return, I have the trophy right here. Trophy is right here. Penns Creek. Look at that. Now, the number did fall off for the year, but 2020 vision, 2021 is when it happened. Penns Creek Race played first place, boys. All day long. Anyways. All right. Yeah, and John Coyle, I believe that's potentially playing a factor as well. I don't want to speak on the subject personally. But yeah, I believe that is playing a factor. Most people would. I don't know for a fact, though. Once again, that could be a complete lie, not true statement. Just thoughts. Oh, we got some comments rolling in now. I'm crazy. I like Larson and the Chaz. That's fine. That is perfectly fine. Same here, Paul. That is fine. You can like Kyle Larson. You can like the Chaz. I mean, we personally don't have any issues. That's what I think is funny. I mean, I feel like I make Kyle feel normal in life, because he probably goes around all the time, every day, and the only person who doesn't kiss his ass is Caitlin. And for someone in society, especially from the dirt world, to be like, hey, I don't like that, or call this out, or say that's not right, or basically just not kiss his ass. For him, I would think that makes him feel normal. That would make him feel okay with life. Oh, wow, normalcy. I thought the Watchgate was funny, though. It's funny, but if it was David Gravel wearing that watch or somebody else wearing that watch, would it have been funny? I just don't think so. Or say some local California guy won it and had a watch on. You think he would have survived? They were making the California guys change their wings. They were nitpicking that much, but a guy can wear a watch and race the car. Which literally, another thing that was literally in the rule book. So you can like Kyle. Me and Kyle have somewhat had an okay relationship, I guess. Me and Kyle's interaction goes back to 2007, 8. Same with Ricky Thornton Jr., Logan Seavies, some of these other guys. So, I mean, I don't think that it's out of line to be a Larson and a Chaz fan. If you know. Let's see here. Came right out of Kyle's mouth. I would like to see, I think he's talking about, I heard them talking about it on the Kyle Larson, Brad Sweet, Phil Wendler interview on Flow. If you extend your stay, you'll have a trip of a lifetime. Tasmania is great. I don't know. They say that's where there's more than one head. I heard that there's a scar on the neck or something like that to prove you're from Tasmania. I don't know what that's all about. 6 toes and shit. I don't know. I'm hearing terms. Is dirt racing getting big in Australia? I think dirt racing is bigger in Australia than it is in America, personally. As far as societal awareness, respect, love, there's a lot of things I think over in Australia that are a little bit bigger. Just because the population isn't. I think that they glorify it a little bit better. I think they publicize it a little bit better. I think it is big in Australia. But it is Australia. It's 25 million people, not 325 million people like we have. I just have never, Mudslinger, I'm sorry, I just have never seen them say, because that would be a headline story. I'm sorry, Mudslinger. If that was the case, I feel like I would be seeing that everywhere. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I just haven't seen it. I can't believe, I would love to see the link to that. I would love to see the link to where they're saying that the All-Stars are coming back in 2025 and they're just doing high limit for 1 year. I mean, I think a regional series is needed in that PA, Ohio region like All-Stars was originally created to do. I heard the Outlaws were on the edge of creating something like that, but then it got canceled like the day of or something like that. But I just haven't seen this All-Star thing that you're talking about. Send the link. Put the links out. Put it in the description right now. I would love to see this where the All-Stars are coming back in 2025. Like, I want to see that. Actually, here's the deal. I'll end the video. Don't put it in the live chat because we're just at the hour mark, which is what we're trying to get to. I'll end the video so you can put it in the comments of the actual video because sometimes the live chat gets kind of maneuvered and missed when people go back to watch the video. But put that link in the comment section. You'll have a lot of people clicking it, buddy. To know that the All-Stars are coming back in 2025. Hold on. Let me just do a quick research. Gosh, you got me going. No. I'm not doing it. The dang heater over there is starting to whistle. We got to get off here. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. It is a little late, but it's a little early for me. We'll be watching the Toowoomba events and potentially the Bunbury events tonight as well. There's a little bit of an update on the potential extension on the trip. Links in the description to join the support, both Venmo and PayPal. It means a lot. Go check out some of the merchandise. The Just Spend It shirts are really badass. Links in the description to do that. New songs, new music out on the Spotify. Also, the music video is here on the YouTube channel down in these roots. Check that out as well. As always, be sure to like the video, comment below, share it around. That means just as much as any type of monetary support. The actual support of getting the message out and around is big as well, especially with how we started this show. Very impactful, important things that I think a lot of more people should be hearing out there in the world. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, as always, be sure to subscribe, and we will catch you next time. This is how we ride. This is how we